What is up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Thursday, December 2nd. A little bit of blood in the streets last night, but the market seemed to be bouncing back just a bit this morning. Some interesting news pieces we want to cover for you guys today. But before we dive into it, John, CJ, how are you gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing well. I feel better, Monty, about the gas fees going down pretty dramatically. I mean, at least from what I'm looking at right now, they're down substantially over the last week, 10 days. Kind of a steady progression. Right now, I'm showing the gas fees at about 88. To me, the way I've looked at things, that seems cheap, given all the focus on some of these NFTs that really pushed up a lot of gas fees for the Ethereum stuff.
Yeah, gas fees have definitely come down in the last 24 hours or so. I noticed this morning I was trying to do a MetaMask transaction, and I noticed my gas fees were a bit lower. I think ETH is just cooling off a bit after that tremendous rip up to 4,800. But yeah, it's nice that those gas fees are coming down. Hopefully that gives retail traders a chance to get in on some downstream assets.
I also think it's just because they're not using Ethereum. And I do want to kind of go into one article since John kind of got me on this topic. But this was one that I was going to share later on, but it shows that larger traders have dominated decentralized exchanges on Ethereum. According to Curve Finance, that average trade ranges from about 500K to $1 million. On
that ain't public.
Yeah.
Generally.
So it's just not, there's no reason to use Ethereum. Like last night I paid a $15 gas fee on Ethereum to bridge to AVAX, where the AVAX transaction fee was, below $1. So when you give retail participants a choice, they're going to choose the obvious answer, which is speed and ease of use.
Yeah, that's a great point, CJ. And I mean, I think that chart you showed with the average transaction fee is exactly what we've talked about, how retail traders can be cut out of the ETH trade by those high gas fees. So looking to those alternatives like AVAX, like even Terra Station that you talked about yesterday, or Solana also has been great alternatives. We've seen all three of those perform tremendously well when ETH gas fees spike, and the last couple of weeks have been no different. So I think you're right, CJ. Speculators have been looking to other layer one chains, which has been kind of bad for ETH, but as long as they maintain those big, large institutional speculators, which I think they will, I think ETH is still on track to continue to appreciate in price. So I think that these blockchains can coexist. Even Cardano got a little bit of love, or is getting a little bit of love right now, finally seeing some positive price action. But I think that what we're seeing now is just retail traders looking elsewhere. Like CJ said, there's no reason to be on the ETH chain right now when you could go to AVAX and speculate for pennies on the dollar. So very interesting stuff. We'll keep monitoring those gas fees going forward because I think it's going to be important as we close up the year here.
It's playing into Matic too.
Oh, Matic. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you look at two apps like Curve Finance and Aave, two natively built on Ethereum. They both have to, had to aggregate, Matic, Polygon, as well as AVAX into their networks in order to be able to actually serve retail customers. So I think we are going to see some continued increased use in those layer twos and those scaling solutions as a result here, if things get really busy.
Well, yes. And yesterday, guys, I'm not saying this is the reason that we're seeing a little bit, more robustness in the market, but Facebook is once again taking ads for crypto. They just decided that apparently yesterday. It makes sense. As long as they have some sort of procedures in place, I don't know why they ever didn't take ads. I mean, if something had no market cap at all and just appeared to be a pump and dump or something, and if you're on that team at Facebook and you can't see that kind of stuff, you probably shouldn't be on that team. But if it's a legitimate protocol, and they'd like to get noticed because, oh my God, let me see. we are now up over 15,126 cryptos, at least as tracked by CoinMarketCap. I mean, it's like 100 and something a day are coming on there. How do you get noticed if indeed you can't advertise? I mean, you know, there's only so many influencers. I think it is almost un-American to not let some of these firms advertise. If they've got the dollars to do it, I think that somebody at Facebook should vet it. And then if they give it the thumbs up, their money should be as green as anybody's. So I think that them taking crypto ads again, I would stand against those that say, oh, you know, this is just bad for retail investors. Retail investors have been developing a pretty good smell test for some of this stuff anyway. With that said, guys, I wanted to mention that I'm not patting myself on the back because I know you guys had this long before I did, but Sand and Mana, both of them, some of the strongest protocols in the past month in November. And a lot of that, of course, was the metaverse. It'll be a while before they basically, start fulfilling what the potential is for it. But all you got to do is see that $650,000 virtual yacht to know that there's real money out there being spent in the sandbox, and Sand is in a great position to benefit from it. And that's one of the reasons I followed you guys into Sand.
Yeah, John, it's been really interesting to watch those NFT plays kind of rise along, alongside that meta news. And I think that part of that, news that Facebook is now taking ads for crypto has to do with that transition into meta and the realization that, crypto will become a part of their business model. In this virtual world, they'll need to be currency. They'll need, to start being more open to, taking those crypto ads and whatnot. So I think that's very interesting. Also, you have the news that, Jack Dorsey steps down from Twitter, taking over at Square, and then changes the name to Block. I think that, implies that they're really trying to focus more on kind of crypto and establishing themselves as a major player in the crypto space. So all of these, kind of headlines and these major companies focusing their business models to be more inclusive to crypto, I think just speaks to the fact that, we're on the tipping point here of some major adoption. And to that point, yesterday we talked about some news out of Asia and, BitCub starting to expand its operations, opening up to more people that are currently unbanked in the Asian region. We also talked about Brazil and some, efforts to expand cryptocurrency availability there. Today, we had a new headline that came out. E-commerce giant Mercado Libre taps Paxos to power crypto service in Brazil. So starting in just a couple days here, Brazilian citizens will be able to buy as little as $1 worth of Bitcoin using their Brazilian real. So they can use their native currency. This is just another on-ramp for a massive market where, many people are unbanked and, they are a rather technologically advanced company, high social media presence, very similar to what we talked about yesterday for Thailand. And, this is what we saw kind of last year before the start of the bear market. This is another article from December 8th, 2020, almost exactly a year ago. And this is when PayPal started to take crypto. I don't know if you guys remember that headline, but PayPal allowed their customers to start buying and selling crypto. They used Paxos to do that. So Paxos has kind of been responsible for various on-ramps throughout Bitcoin's history. This is just the latest one, and it's opening up, Bitcoin trading to a massive kind of untapped market. So just thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that news with you guys.
Very cool. As far as some of these crazy coins that are just going nuts right here, guys, are you tracking any of these, or would you trade any of the, biggest gainers on the list today? Because I'm kind of keeping them at arm's length right now. I mean, like Fire, FIRE, 500%. I mean, and I love the name too, Fire Flame Inu. If you throw Inu on anything, it could be pizza Inu, and people would buy it, I think.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is like if you look at CoinMarketCap over the last 24 hours, Shiba Inu has seen more than $2 billion worth of trading volume. Like that is just absurd. You can say what you will. I mean, it's obviously a meme coin, but that is legitimate volume that dwarfs even like legitimate, equities and stuff like that. So that is pretty staggering numbers. But for me, John, I'm not really messing with any of those big daily movers right now. Even those metaverse plays that we talked about, are a bit overextended for my liking right now to enter a trade, especially when you consider what we're seeing out of Bitcoin. We saw a little bit of fear last night. I still think that Bitcoin could potentially, kind of linger around this range a little bit before we start to propel higher. And until we start to, really see some strength in Bitcoin, I'm going to kind of stay away from those, meme coins. But once that strength resumes in Bitcoin, I think that, those assets will perform tremendously well. So it's an exciting time of the year for sure.
Indeed.
Monty, would you like to talk about Filecoin, my friend? I know you had an article about that one you wanted to share.
Yeah, absolutely, CJ. Big news coming out of Filecoin. This was being circulated in our chat this morning as well. And, one thing that's been a major criticism of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general over the last year has been the energy consumption element or the, environmental concerns around Bitcoin mining. And for those of you who don't know, Filecoin aims to be a decentralized storage database. So essentially comparable to something like AWS, but just more decentralized. So what they're aiming to do here is create a way for Bitcoin miners and everyone along the Bitcoin, chain to set up a way to monitor their energy consumption in the Bitcoin either mining or selling process. So essentially, the Filecoin Green project is a way of mapping the electricity used by the largest decentralized data storage blockchain, Bitcoin, and has launched an open source dashboard in a bid to prove its commitment to renewable energy. So interestingly, like they're actually accounting for renewable energy certificates. So miners that use renewable energy, they'll be accounted for differently than those that are just using, fossil fuels or just regular electricity. So it's going to be a very robust monitoring system where every miner could be, held accountable for their carbon footprint. And I think that this would be, a big step in the right direction for kind of mitigating some of that FUD that we see so typically associated with, Bitcoin's environmental effect. And really, I think that one thing that just is really hurting Bitcoin right now is the fact that we don't have a way to monitor exactly how much energy consumption is happening. I think that, if we were to have a firm metric on this, it would be a lot less than people actually think. Much of Bitcoin mining is done with renewable energy, or is done with, done in places like Greenland where, the energy grids have, excess power, or even places like El Salvador where they're utilizing, thermal energy to mine Bitcoin. So I would love to see this metric. I think it would be good and also, hold Bitcoin miners accountable for their carbon footprint. So interesting news, but, Filecoin definitely worth a watch following this announcement.
Cool. Well, a lot of things happening at the sponsor of this program over at Voyager, bringing in a lot of new people and, some very positive steps, obviously, with Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks and a host of other things going on. And if you want to trade crypto for no commission, and if you would like to earn 12% on Polkadot, well, there's one place that we know you can do that, and that's Voyager. If you go to Voyager Digital, download the app, you can trade right from the app, enjoy, obviously, free commissions, get some of the highest paid for you leaving your coins on the Voyager platform for staking there. And they give you that huge percentage, like I say, as high as 12% for the Polkadot. That's the highest I've seen right now. But they probably have, I'm going to say, guys, about 18 different coins that they're paying on right now. So if you're trading any of those and not getting paid, and does it still, Monty, does it still come in twice a month, or is it once a month?
Once a month, first of the month, just yesterday or 2 days ago, got that.
Okay. So you get paid every month, folks, for those coins. You can see which coins they are and how much they pay at Voyager. But if you put in Rebel 25, you'll get $25 in Bitcoin just for signing up.
That's right. And if you guys would like to join CJ and I, we are always hanging out in the crypto room, and you can join us at markrebellion.com/try crypto. Just $7 for the first month if you want to try it. We got a pro charting service, a 24/7 chat with a community of traders from all around the world. We publish actionable trade insights with entries, exits, stop losses, news pieces, education, curriculum. CJ just added a new course about farming. So if you guys are looking for, some passive income strategies, definitely head over to our education curriculum where you can learn all about that and a whole lot more. So that's all we got for today. Any parting words for our audience, gentlemen?
Yes, Solana is next. Mango markets, yield farming on Radium, and then eventually we'll move to AVAX as well and go to Trader Joe's. That's another yield farming protocol that we'll check out in a little while. But excited, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day in the world wherever you're at. But thank you guys.
Thank you.